how to start with $20, $40 of original capital out of pocket to then roll that over to literally 100,000 in the first month. And I think it was something like 3.9 million in 2 years.
Okay.
Do I know how to do that?
I think that sort of highlights why a lot of people, when they do first try ads, if it's with an ads buyer or with themselves, they fail.
Yeah, because most people don't. But what I actually mean is I'm trying to give you guys the shortest route to your success. We don't have one, but I promise you guys, we're going to talk about stuff that will hopefully help you increase your profits, increase your income, increase your opportunities, add more time to your life, all those sorts of things. And the reason I can say that is because you have here two people that actually live the talk, right? Actually do earn money online, anywhere, anytime, actually can live pretty much anywhere that we choose to, sustainably. And we just happen to choose the same place here in Bali.
We actually lived like 10 minutes away from each other. But yeah, no, it's nice to come check out this side of Bali and take a walk around, but also soak up some of the wisdom that you have just around marketing, funnels, ads. I know that's your background. So
sure.
What I would love to just get some of your thoughts on is the branding aspect, content, and maybe we'll talk about some ads as well. But my game is branding. It's telling stories
and hats off, bro. Like seriously, I've seen your work. Like, damn, it's good. Like really, really good. Yeah. So, your branding is really top notch. I'm probably not the best guy to ask about branding because I didn't like. Nowadays, I'm starting to focus on it.
So what I'll just
go for it.
Things off is like, the definition of branding is something that a lot of people sort of trip up on.
Sure.
A lot of people think that branding is the logo, your colors, your website, all of that stuff. But your brand is actually your reputation.
It's how the customer. Well, at least my definition of it is how the customer feels when they see
exactly
your logo, color, blah blah blah.
Exactly.
Right. So it's a feelings-based thing, and the only way you build feelings is by giving an experience.
Exactly. Right, yeah, so it's like if I said to you the word Rolls Royce, like what do you think of?
Oh, okay, luxury, rich, successful.
And I just said one word.
Yes.
Which is the brand name. And so if you want to understand the power of branding, it comes down to that. It's like, what do people think about when they see your name, when they see you pop up on social media and stuff? So my question to you is, brother, like you obviously have a really well-known personal brand. Correct. Your YouTube is branded as Mindstack.
Yes.
So what was the decision not to call the YouTube channel your name versus the brand?
I actually regret the decision. Because now I'm stuck. So we started Huff offering mining services. Okay. So Bitcoin mining.
Okay.
Right? And then we got to a point where it's like, actually, I'm that accurate. I don't have to stick myself in a box called mining. And so now I'm in this dilemma where I'm like, do I change the brand name? Do I get it back to my name? Like, what do I do with this? And I actually go, that probably wasn't the smartest move. But hey, I didn't need to get it 100% right to actually start making millions.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And very few brands do. If you look at Instagram, what were they before Instagram? I don't remember the name. It was some like chocolate bear bagel or some shit like that. I don't remember the name, but you can Google it. Instagram had a totally different name. I don't remember the name. It was like bourbon. Nah, that's what it was. Bourbon, right? Something bourbon. So very few brands start off with a name that they end up being famous for. Some do, but very few do. So I don't think it's about getting it perfect. I think it's about, as an entrepreneur, as somebody that's starting up a business, you actually got to start with like, okay, take it in steps.
Yeah.
I need to first get to a point where I can at least pay for myself.
Yeah.
So I can keep doing this. And then when I get to a point where I can pay for myself, there'll be a saturation point where I go, fuck, I can't grow my business anymore because I've run out of time, run out of energy, I need people.
Yeah.
Right? And so you go, okay, so now I need to expand to people. And then now you're going, okay, I need to delegate. Right now I hate bookkeeping, or I'm going to find a bookkeeper. And right now I hate the thing that's taking the most time is whatever, I'll delegate to that. And so you start finding people taking over your jobs.
Yeah.
And then eventually that expands even further to go, everybody's taking my jobs, but we're still not expanding.
Yeah.
So now I need specialists that can do it better than I can. And then, so videographer that does video better than me, editor that edits better than me, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Right? Now, that's on the business structure growing side, but I don't think that's what we're going to be like. I think most people are still on the how do I make more money side.
Yeah. Because I mean, that's the thing, and like it's good to like talk about it because like why beat around the bush? Because a lot of people potentially, and I made this mistake a lot, and on my journey is that cool party over there. But yeah, like when you first start out, especially if you're taking the leap from having a job, or this is the first time going branding, the first thing you want to do is make money. All right. Yeah, obviously, because that's the oxygen for your business. So then what ends up happening is that, you potentially get distracted by all the bells and the whistles and everything like that. So from your perspective, brother, like what are the most important things that someone needs to do in order to start monetizing themselves or monetizing their brand, from the outset? Because if they don't do it, a few weeks, months pass, and then you're back in the...
This is extremely situational.
Yeah.
Situational or what? Well, you got to understand that to grow a business is kind of like growing a baby.
Yeah.
Right? When you have a child, you have, what do you call it? Paid leave to raise your kid, 6 months, or whatever it is, depending on what country you're from. Now, you have paid leave to raise a child. Why don't you have paid leave to start a business?
Yeah.
Right? And so the government's not going to supply you with the resources needed to actually start your business. Yeah. You have to supply your own resources, which means in the beginning, you got to do whatever you can just to be able to fund doing it in the first place.
Yeah.
So if you have parents that are rich, I'm going to stay with you. And okay, so your strategy then is slightly different because you have somebody looking after you to then, okay, so I'll do the stuff that doesn't pay me, but it's necessary.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas if you're somebody that's on your own, you're an orphan, let's say, nobody's looking out for you, well, you got to pay your bills first.
Yeah.
Right? Now, you may as well pay your bills in an area that either increases your skills, increases your customer base, increases your network, increases your ability to build systems in the thing you want to end up having.
Yes.
Does that make sense? So let's say I have to pay my own bills first, and I do want to end up being maybe a content creator, influencer, or something like that. Well, why don't I first pick up a camera and figure out how to shoot weddings and shoot for clients and blah, blah, blah. I'll be the technician. I'll be the guy that holds the camera, right? I may as well get paid for it, but I'm also learning. I'm also building a customer base. I'm also whatever.
Yeah.
So that would be the starting point for majority of people that don't have the benefit of having somebody paying for them.
Yeah.
In the beginnings. Okay? Now, once you've got skills and or a customer database and or a network and or a system that is actually working, now we've got the starting points of something that could potentially be turned into a business.
Yeah. Yeah, I think just to add to that, one thing that was, I mean, it became very apparent to me, especially in a place like Bali, for example, where the cost of living is a lot lower.
Yes.
All right, so it's just a very easy tactic if you can do it. Obviously, stuff is difficult, but it's like reduce your burn rate. Like you know the amount of money you're spending on a monthly basis.
Yes. Move. That's the point. Move. Take a flight.
But it's very difficult. I mean, I've had a lot of conversations with people, and it's like
it's actually not as scary as
people who are at that stage in their business because it's like.
It's cheap.
It's a great place to build a brand. It's a great place to get to know yourself while you're living a better quality of life.
Yes. Yes.
And so, I think if whoever's watching this is in the States, the UK,
correct,
any sort of Western-based places where the cost of living is crippling, like those are things that are in your control. Like you can move, you can go live somewhere where the cost of living is not as bad. Provided, you're not stuck in sort of hectic situations and, you have a big family to look after, which again, that's a whole nother, a situation that people need to sort of deal with. But again, it just highlights how broken the system is in those places.
Yes, correct.
Because it's a crippling way of living that gets you so stuck in that system that it becomes very, very difficult to actually break.
It's that conversation about they want you productive for life.
Yes.
And they want you to be an employee for life.
Yeah,
it's by design. Now, you made a good point there about, so the first thing is like, take it from us too. I was once broke as shit, but I feel fortunate that I was broke as shit here in Indonesia. So just to sort of like give you guys that insight that hey, it's not a big leap to actually firstly consider it, research, and then possibly even move to a country that is actually cheaper, where your 2 months of salary could actually pay for 6 months of living.
Yeah.
In that country.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And now you've got your financed business paid leave, parental leave of your business, right? And it was through your own efforts. You should be proud of that. So if it's something that you feel you could be proud of, well, put some commitment into it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
Now,
the philosophy that I have around it is there's a great book called The Sovereign Individual.
yeah.
I might have told you about this, but
Yeah, you have.
you know, he talks about basically voting with your feet, like getting up and going and finding a country that treats you best, or a country where the quality of life is better. So you aren't essentially crippling yourself in debt. You aren't crippling yourself in the wage, slavery realm, essentially. But again, it's a very sort of easy thing to say, when you're on a beautiful beach. But the fact of the matter is, it's easy to say, but it's hard to flip and do, for a lot of people. And again, from your perspective, what are some things people can do to tactically monetize a lot quicker? And that might mean running ads, for example, or getting a little bit of spend behind an ad to get a return back on. Because I know you said that you've been able to get a good return on, $20, $40. So if someone has a small pot of money and they want to monetize something, like what would be the system? What would that look like from a tactics point of view?
You want the bitter truth answer, or do you want the
the hard truth? Punch me in the nose. Let's go.
You can only do those kind of results where 20 becomes 100, 100 becomes 500, 500 becomes 2,500 when you have skills to do it. If you don't have the skills yet, you're gonna burn, no matter if you spend $10, $20, $1,000, you're gonna burn it anyway.
Yeah.
Right? However, it's not to discourage you guys, okay? So the first thing is build the skills. You don't have the skills, so what do you need? Well, you need a pair of eyes of somebody that has those skills that can then impart it to you. I know, this ain't us, I'm not selling you shit. I don't have a course. I have no program in the English market to sell you guys. But you actually do have to have somebody who has that experience, skills, and then track record to give you insight. And you gotta test that person actually does want to give you the insight. They're not just selling you a dream, right? For you to actually build up those skills. If you don't do that, then you're writing up something that looks good to you. It does not necessarily look good to the person reading it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or to the person watching the video if you're doing a sales video. So first step is to build those skills. But once you go to a certain level of skill set where that offer could actually do.
Yeah.
Right. Then advertising is just a tool to force traffic in your direction.
Yeah.
Because they only get paid when that ad shows up in front of someone's face.
Yeah.
They being the ad platform.
Yeah.
So instead of spending months trying to grow an organic audience, you only need days or weeks to force traffic in to get feedback immediately. So it's an acceleration of feedback. That's all it is. And I would rather pay $30 to find the answer in 2 days, as opposed to not pay $30 but find out the answer a month later.
Yeah.
Through organic. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay.
And I think that sort of highlights why a lot of people, when they do first try ads, if it's with an ads buyer or with themselves, they fail.
Yeah, because most people don't.
The first one is a failure.
Yeah.
And so that bite on the ass for those people means they never want to go back to ads ever again.
Yeah.
Because ads don't work.
Yeah. I wasted $2,000 on my first ad and got likes and clicks and comments.
Yeah.
Comments and likes. And maybe the occasional share.
Or I think I had something similar. Like I actually it was a bit difficult. Like I was running my video production company at the time, was running someone's social media, and they were like, "Oh, like Luke, can you run some ads?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." Like set it on global, like ran the ads, like had ads from Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, India, Pakistan, countries where the product wasn't even being sold. And then so obviously that was a huge screw up on my part, but it can be wielded. It's a load of power that can be wielded for immense gains or sort of immense losses. But I think, as you said, the base of skill is so important. And maybe just sort of highlight what are some of those skills that people might gain.
There's quite a lot. There's quite a lot. To say it's an easy journey is not true.
Yeah.
It actually isn't an easy journey. But is it a worthwhile journey? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because once you build the ability to literally sell anything you like,
Yeah.
anything you like, you have a license to print money.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Forever. For your entire life.
Yeah.
As long as you don't screw up your ads account and get banned or some shit like that. But provided you're in good standing, you got a license to print forever.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Is it easy? No. Now, in terms of, you're asking a question in the form of the person watching this, what skills should they actually be picking up and so forth, right? I would say the fastest shortcut you could get is just to steal that information and knowledge and skills from someone who's already succeeding. That's the fastest way.
Yeah.
Now, stealing legally is the key word.
Yeah.
Meaning, so I'll explain what that means. 3 years ago, I had a client and he stole my ability to do digital marketing. And I have no hate.
Yeah.
Hats off. How did he do that? Well, he engaged with me professionally.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He paid me 150,000 Australian up front, paid me a percentage of commissions on sales that I could get for him,
Yeah.
had me working my ass off to get his business successful, and he was observing the entire time.
Wow. Clever.
Okay, now not everybody has under 50 grand, so not everybody can do this, but I'm just painting a concept here.
Yeah.
Okay, and he observed me for a good, 6 months. I quadrupled his business, and where he got to a point where I was getting a little bit too much commissions, he could then find staff to do the exact jobs that I was doing, and he outsourced and basically said, okay, let's end our professional relationship. Okay, now I got paid a lot, so I'm okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Was it according to what he promised? No. But do I have hate for it? No, not either.
Yeah.
Business. It's all business. But that's an example of stealing, but that's not the only way you can steal, right? And I say stealing as if it's but what I actually mean is I'm trying to give you guys the shortest route to your success. And the shortest route is to actually get it from somebody who's already got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think it's mentorship.
Correct.
You need a bloody mentor.
Mentor, consultant, advisor, somebody working for you but really committed to the process of it, right? Whatever method you can get, but you want somebody that has proven results doing it.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, then you're literally fumbling around not knowing what to do.
Yeah, or you're being led astray by someone who says they're correct, but they don't actually have the skills in it.
But the key is not to blindly trust. The key is not to engage with a marketing agency and go, here's $1,000, do what you can with it. It's to actually go, how are you doing that? So what metrics?
So just a quick story on that, because the first marketing agency I ever hired, coming from this world, I was like, let me launch my product, and I already had a video production that was doing pretty well.
Yeah.
And I wanted to move into the information space, launch my first course, essentially. Yeah. And so I paid around £10,000 to this marketing agency to build the funnel. It was a ebook to webinar to purchase of the course. And then we ran a bunch of Facebook ads. I think I was like, including an editor to edit the videos, to do the ads. I'm 20 grand in at this point, maybe more.
Yep.
And so they ran the ads for a few months, and eventually, like, loads of leads started coming in, but big fat zero sales.
Yep.
And so I learned pretty quickly that, oh my goodness, I've just paid this agency all of this money to build this beautiful funnel that, technically on paper should work, but it didn't.
Yes.
And so then I'm there, like, sort of left scratching my head. The agency at this point, they've got their money. They don't really have the incentive to try and help me solve the problem. So I'm just there like, okay, well, what the hell do I do now?
Yep.
And so at that point, I was pulling my hair out. I was like, sort of really, really stressed about this thing. And I was like, where do I go from here? Now, the answer to where I went from there was I went on the journey of learning the skills.
Yes.
Okay, which is funny because it actually reiterates what you said, but it's like I had to learn the skills the hard way. So why does a funnel work this way? How do I write copy that's persuasive? How do I write ads that are actually going to communicate with people? How do I create a product that is what actually, what people want? So it was this journey, which was, again, huge ups and downs and challenges, because at that point I could have rolled over and gone back to my old job or sort of push forward. And just to reiterate, it was a wide array of skills, and skills that I didn't even know that I needed, because, again, it was spiritual skills, it was relationship, it was interpersonal. How do I communicate with people? How do I talk on camera?
But look at the person you became.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does.
And now you guys know we're telling the truth. Appreciate it. But it's like,
It's funny, man, because again, like I know so many people who have that story, but again, you know, sometimes it's like when the chips are against you, when it's like enough is enough moment.
Yep.
And it's like usually that is a huge catalyst for people to take massive action because,
Yes.
you know,
You want to work on this
the things aren't painful, like it's annoying, but a lot of people don't actually take action on things.
Yep.
And so sometimes it has to get painful, but again, you know, it doesn't have to. Like you could be proactive and, you know, start developing the skills if that's some of how you want to go about things. But yeah, I just thought I'd share that because that sort of kicked off the whole journey.
Yes. So in terms of answering the original question of what skill sets do you need, I gave you the quickest shortcut answer.
Yeah.
But in terms of what actual skills, there's a lot.
Yeah.
From copywriting to being able to talk on camera to being able to, if you're doing it yourself, you're not paying anyone, you need to build a website, it's quite a lot. And it's going to be a journey that does take time.
Yeah.
That is the short answer. That is the naked truth, I guess. So I don't want that to be something that discourages the average person trying to make it.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why I said, so you need a shortcut, and the quickest way is to take it from somebody that already has it.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, I'm going to extend the answer to go, okay, what's my answer? I'm not saying this to brag. I'm not saying this to sort of make me look that great. But in terms of actual objective results, do I know how to start with $20, $40 of original capital out of pocket to then roll that over to literally 100,000 in the first month? And I think it was something like 3.9 million in 2 years. Okay? Do I know how to do that? Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Okay? What's my answer to getting a paid ad up and running, succeeding, paying you money? First, you got to understand from a sort of big picture overview. The purpose of an ad isn't to go, I'll invest 5,000 in, and hopefully down the line, I'll make back more than 5.
Yeah.
On ads, you have an immediate feedback mechanism. I paid $10, I got X number of views on my video, and because I spent $10 for say 1,000 views, that means it cost me whatever that is, 1 cent per view.
Yeah.
Now that's not real because it's probably more expensive than that, but the concept is real. So from a big picture perspective, without going into the micro executional stuff, if you know, for example, that it costs you, say, call it 10 cents per person watching the video.
Yep.
How many people need to watch the video to then click to your website, the one they land on after the ad?
Yeah.
Let's say you need 100 people. So now that's costing you 10 cents times 100. That's what, $10?
Yeah.
Okay. So you need 100 people watching to get one person to click. It costs you $10 to get that person to click. Now, how many people then go from that page to the next step towards paying you money?
Yeah.
Let's say it's a checkout. So they click that button that goes, yep, I want this thing and I want to pay for it. So they fill in their details. Let's say you need, call it 50 people to get one person just to, let's not say 50, let's say 10 people, just to get one person to, from landing on your page, to go, yeah, I'll fill in the form. So it costs you $10 to get that person on your page. Now it's 10 times 10, $100 to get somebody to fill in that form on your website that says checkout.
Yeah.
And you got their details on your website, so they checked out, which means that you got their email, your name, or blah, blah, blah. You could follow them up, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, how many people then had to check out to then actually pay? Because they're two different steps.
Yep.
Filling in the form and then clicking that, yep, pay. Now, let's say you need 5 people to fill in the form, and one of them will actually pay you. So it costs you $10 to get somebody to land on the page. It costs you 10 times 10 to get somebody to fill in the checkout, so that's $100. It costs you 5 times 100 to get somebody to actually pay. So now you had to pay $500 to get somebody to pay you money. Next question. Did you generate more than $500?
That's the question now.
If you generated $50, you lost $450.
Yeah.
If you sold them $3,000 on several products, the first product cost $50, and then you sold a $300 offer, and then you sold them a $100 subscription, and then you sold them a high ticket offer at $5,000, for example. So all in all, you got $10,000, and you paid $500 for that.
Yeah.
I'll do that 10 times any day.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Because then I guess it just gets to a stage where you know the numbers at each stage, and you can just
Correct.
dialing in, putting more money in to a point where you're getting that return. But
Yeah.
is there a point of diminishing returns?
Correct.
So that's sort of
Diminishing returns and different markets, different cost.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, you are competing against everybody else trying to get ads in front of people.
Yeah.
Now, I know my numbers extremely well in the Indonesian market.
Yeah.
That's why I know after spending $10 whether I'm going to make 6 figures or not.
Yeah.
I know that just by spending $10. In the English markets, in markets that speak in English and generally earn maybe 100,000 a year per person in that country, I would probably expect to pay maybe 100, 300, 500-ish, somewhere there.
Yeah.
Just to get the same feedback.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about 2 different countries here. One country, the average salary, $3,000 a year. The other country, $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
It's slightly different. Okay? Now, do ads reach a saturation point? Yeah, of course they do.
Yeah.
Okay. If not, you'd have lots of trillionaires. But I think that's an issue that you address when you get there.
Yeah.
The first issue that you haven't even gone past, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to the viewer,
Yeah.
is can you get your $500 to generate, call it $1,500? Just 3 extra money. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Right? On a digital services product with no, manufacturing costs.
Yeah.
Okay. If the answer is no, then something needs to get fixed in your process. It might be your ad. It might be your copywriting on your website. It might be, you might have a website that's not mobile friendly. It looks good on the laptop. It looks shit and doesn't function on the mobile phone.
Yeah.
Could be that. It could be that your load speed is too slow.
Yeah.
Right? So I had an ad. When I first did my first, I think it was 600,000 in 6 months or something like that. In the early stages, I went extremely viral on my ads. So I could scale it up really, really high. And then at a certain point, I was like, totally zero revenue extra. I was like, what's wrong with this? It took me a day. It took me $8,000 in ad spend to realize the traffic was so huge that it was crashing my service. 502 error. I was like, what the fuck is that? So panic. Figured out, okay, I need to upgrade servers, blah, 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 blah. And then, kept on going from there. But was the,
I think what this is obviously such a
dive.
it's complex systems, right?
Yeah.
Like how can the sort of average person who's they have something they're passionate about, they've monetized it, they're making money.
Yep.
But they're sort of stuck at a ceiling. Let's call it, $3,000 a month, $5,000 a month. To really go from that point to 10, 20, 30 to even 100 grand.
Engage with somebody that knows better.
Yeah. So someone needs to take you to the next level. But
yeah,
what I think it really comes down to, and you can do this sort of like just by brute forcing it, right, to a certain degree, but you're always going to be the bottleneck.
Can I sort of give my 2 cents on how should the average person start up? And this is my opinion. And my opinion is based on what I went through. So it might not be relevant to 100% of people. But in my honest opinion, the quickest way to you growing up, everything you need to actually get really good is to actually do public speaking.
Yeah.
Completely unrelated to digital marketing, unrelated to making websites, unrelated to making ads, etc., etc. But you should have that experience of actually having spoken on a stage in front of a group of people.
Yeah.
Physically. Not on a Zoom call, but physically. Even if it's 5 people.
I will say, okay, so I completely agree with that. I will say though, if you can't get on stage,
volunteer.
Even speaking on a Zoom still has some.
If you can see their face.
Use practice.
Yeah.
The talking, the communication, the getting your ideas out in a.
You want to go in this direction?
That's such a beautiful trait.
Yeah, let's go in that direction.
In a way that's incoherent, but of course, being on stage is like sort of unmatched. But
correct.
I think for anyone even step behind a Zoom.
On a Zoom call, if you can see their face, fine. If you can't see their face, I would say you're not milking it. And the reason for that is, why did I say public speaking? Because you want that immediate feedback of, I can see you. When I said this sentence, you backed out. You lost interest.
Wow.
You checked your phone. Whatever it is, right? Now, on a Zoom call, it's much easier for them to bail out. They just sign off, leave, boom. On an actual face-to-face, you're on stage, they're in the room, they're embarrassed to be the one person that stands up and walk out. So you got the benefit of testing your entire pitch, your entire presentation, to an audience that can't move. Now, you might be wasting their time, but that's not the point. You're learning something.
Yeah.
Does that take balls to do? Yeah, it does. Does that take balls? Yes, it does. But this was me back when I was 15, 16 years old, starting up my first experience in business. And the mentor at that time, he was like, you're a shy guy. I was like, yeah. Go in a lift, crowded, everybody's facing the front, you face everybody. like, and just do that. Look at their faces and smile. It was such a like massive like pattern break or habit break.
Yeah.
Where I was like, I'm a shy guy, massively introverted. You look at me and you think I'm a extroverted, you know, charismatic person. No, I trained that. You've met me in reality outside of cameras rolling, and I'm not the same person on camera as I am off camera. I'm much more introverted, much more shy, much more. I don't like socializing in 10 groups of people, but I understood I had to do that in order to become a better me, so that I could look after the people that matter to me. If that makes sense. Okay. So overcoming that allowed me to then go, okay, so back then my experience was, you know, effectively door-to-door sales type stuff, but not exactly in that sense. That sales experience gave me experience to talk to people, but then the real kicker was when I started talking in front of people.
Yeah.
Like a large group of people. That's the thing that changed a lot of things for me. Now, how do you do that when you don't have a name, nobody knows who you are, but volunteer. Go to your church and preach. Go to your university, blah, blah, blah. You know, like,
Have you heard of Toastmasters?
no idea.
So Toastmasters is actually really interesting. I trained under someone who was the Toastmasters champion.
Okay.
His name is Rory Vaden, but basically what it is, it's public speaking championships.
Sure.
And so you go into these groups and they have them all over the world, South Africa, Indonesia, UK, America.
Yep.
And you basically sit in a group and you practice the skill of public speaking.
Yeah. Name me one billionaire that's not good at public speaking, by the way.
True. Well, so I mean, this is a reminder to me as well to get my Toastmasters shit sorted, because, you know, I've always liked public speaking.
Yeah.
I had this one talk I had to do when I was about 17. I was like the captain of my rowing team at the time, and I had to go into a huge dining hall of about 100 people and give a speech for the end of the year thing. And I remember the coach, he introduced me. He was like, Luke's going to come out, do a speech now, and he's just going to be a quick speech, no worries. And then he looked at my paper. I had like 4 pieces of paper. He's like, or maybe not that short. And so anyway, I got up and I got into the mic and I just said, don't worry guys, like I just made the type really big so I could read it. And then the whole room just burst out into laughing. It was just like a really nice way to break the ice, and it just took all of my nerves away. And the speech after that was just, you know, enjoyable process. But I think you know, it's definitely a huge skill because it'll help with the content that you're presenting.
Correct. Now you have the instinct.
Yes, the way you communicate,
Yeah.
the way you understand things. So I think that's such a great point. Also, to be able to see how people react to you
Yes.
in person, because that's like, man, I spent.
And at the end of the day, the benchmark is, did you get them to pay you?
Yeah.
That's the benchmark. Even if it's just $10, who gives a shit? Right? Did you get them to pay you? And if you can do that face to face, well, guess what? Now all you have to do is digitize that. It's not a big step to go from I can sell you face to face to I can sell you through a video, through a website, through a Telegram group, through whatever. It's not that big of a step. Now that's probably the biggest. Now everything else, if you're able to sell to some, like one-on-one, okay, fine. To a large group, okay, fine. If you're able to do that, by the way, now you have a skill that you can make money with to subsidize building a business, having your business leave 6 months. That's all you need, bro. Would you agree with that?
I completely agree, man. You know,
Okay.
like, with the caveat that you have mentor showing
Yes.
the steps.
Yes.
But yeah, no, that's awesome, man. I think there's a lot of you know, there's a lot of value in that. And yes, I was lost the thoughts, but it was gonna be around social media. It's fine. Anyway, I think we're at a good point.
Yeah.
For this conversation.
So yeah, I think for the average person starting out, that's the fundamental skill that needs to be built up.
Yeah.
And then you can start going, okay, so now that I'm good at, I got that instinct now. I know what people switch off to. I know what people, you know, catch on to.
Yeah.
Then to go from that to go, okay, well, let's record a video
Yes.
that does the exact same thing, but in a specific format, specific time, duration. It's not that big of a step. It's not a big leap for us.
It's not.
Right.
And one thing I would say just on that is like the shooting aspect, especially if you're in a room by yourself, just with a camera, when you're talking to the camera, it is very, very difficult to connect with someone behind that. And so you're talking like as if you're speaking to all of these unseen people, and often it creates so much fear, doubt, anxiety, stress. You're like, who am I talking to? And then what people typically do is they go this big social media
Let's go further from the music. Yeah, go on.
they put on a bit of a social media accent where it's like you know, it's not sort of, it's not their voice. Yeah. Okay. And I think one thing that helped me a lot with that, because the moment I stuck the camera on, you can look at any of my old videos, they're on Instagram. It's so tense and so forced because I'm like really trying to think what I'm saying, and I would record for hours and it would just be this stream of consciousness with no structure, no start, no point. Because again, where's the feedback?
Yeah, but that's still a good step in the right direction. Even though,
yeah, and obviously I had to go through those steps. But I think what really helped me, and you know, might have heard this before, but it's like really sort of visualizing the person you're speaking to behind the camera and focusing on one person. So not saying things like, "Hey guys, you know, all of you, the group," and sort of you know, really dial into that one person when you can start speaking to them, their needs, their eccentricity. You know, saying things like "you" as opposed to you know, a group of people will really help sort of dial in your message, as opposed to, you know, talking to this imaginary you know, millions of people, which it inevitably causes stage fright when you're in the room by yourself.
yes, sir.
Wow.
I think in order to answer the original question of how to run successful paid advertising, it will come after a few set of skills have been established.
Yeah.
The idea is to learn those skills or acquire those skills. Even if you don't learn it, then you pay someone to do it for you, or you incentivize someone to do it for you on a commission basis or something.
Yeah.
But then the next question goes, but how do I do that when I'm basically broke or just starting out, right? Well, the idea is to get paid while you learn.
Yeah.
You know, that I think is the easiest starting point.
Yeah.
And the shortest route.
Yeah.
Right? If you're gonna learn how to public speak, well, you may as well get paid for it.
Yeah.
Hey, church, I've done 10 talks, 10 preaches. Do I get a church fund? And I'm not saying you do this, but I'm sort of like throwing out ideas on be creative a bit, you know? Hey, to talk at, I don't know, some business networking event or something like that. Can I hustle my way to get the coordinator or the organizer to provide me a budget to actually do that?
Yeah.
Or whatever. Shooting a video. Let me do your wedding for free. I'll get a portfolio out of that, and then I'm gonna start selling my photography skills. I might not be the best guy, but you're all I've got. I'm in a state that has 0 people. It doesn't matter. What you want to do is you want to acquire these skills, and if you have to acquire them anyway, you may as well get paid for them.
Well, so I'll just add to that, because these skills that we're talking about here, public speaking, being able to talk on camera, this is one of the most important skills of the century, of the decade, the time that we're living in right now. To be a creator of content as opposed to a consumer is one of the most high-paid jobs you can possibly get into.
Think about it this way. Hitler convinced 20 million Germans to try to take over the world on his public speaking and content creating skills.
Yeah, and persuasive skills, and language, and motivation, etc. But it's like, you know, I saw this interview the other day, but it's like Facebook, the platforms, they've democratized the ability to put a message out there, to create content. We've got mobile phones to do all of this. The next 10 years, you know, whereas the platforms have made huge amounts of money, billions and billions of dollars on the creators are next. Those are the people who are going to be making a big money, because they are producing the stuff that people want to watch, the thing that is keeping people on the platforms. And so if you can start to position yourself, learn the skill of creation, I really think that's the gold mine. That's the next gold rush. I mean, it's happening right now.
Correct. And it doesn't matter at what stage of business you are, whether you are a startup, you just started, you're thinking of quitting your job starting, or if you're already an established person. Even if you're a billionaire, you should still know how to make content.
Yeah.
Look at, for you billionaires watching this, look at Ray Dalio. Look at Super Cool Ben, son of Indonesia's richest billionaire. All these people that were billionaires before hopping on camera are now hopping on camera.
Yeah.
Mark Cuban, Elon Musk. Everybody has to be able to appear on camera.
Yeah.
Okay? So you may as well do it anyway. Now, actionable steps. Actionable steps. If you're just starting out, gain skills, get paid for it. You want that target of, I want to be able to focus directly on my business, 6 months, paid leave.
Yeah.
Right? And you're funding yourself, not the government, not your employer. People that already have a business, you can see from this video, where 2 examples of people with the skills that you need in your business.
Yeah.
Why are you not reaching out to people like us or to anybody else you think is qualified to do that? you may as well, instead of trying to pick it up yourself, reading a book or whatever, you may as well engage and observe and understand the process. And make money for your business at the same time. Right? Those of you that are already quite advanced, why are you watching this video?
You don't need it. Come to where we're at the beach.
You should be taking your profits, investing it. I'm a crypto guy, I'm really good at it.
Yeah, I think that's
Sales.
yeah.
Kidding.
Make more money. So yeah, cheers, Brian. Appreciate it, man. Good.
It's always a pleasure, man.
Good to chill with you on the beach.
Yeah.
And we'll do it again.
Should we hop in the water?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do that.
I need it, so.
Cool.
So
See you guys.
cheers.